As the sun rose on April 14th, 1561, over the German city of Nuremberg, the residents saw what they described as some kind of aerial battle take place in its glare. Complete with the erratic dance of orbs, crosses, cylinders, and the appearance of a large and mysterious black arrow-shaped object, all followed by a crash landing somewhere beyond the city limits. Later that month, local artist Hans Glaser produced a broadsheet offering a woodcut engraving of the scene and a detailed description of what was witnessed. The text reads, "In the morning of April 14th, 1561, at daybreak, between 4 and 5 a.m., a dreadful apparition occurred on the sun. And then this was seen in Nuremberg, in the city, before the gates and in the country, by many men and women. At first, there appeared in the middle of the sun 2 blood-red semicircle arcs. Just like the moon in its last quarter and in the sun, above and below and on both sides, the color was blood. There stood a round ball of partly dull, partly black ferrous color. Likewise, there stood on both sides, and as a torus, about the sun such blood-red ones, and other balls in large number. About 3 in a line and 4 in a square, also some alone. In between these globes there were visible a few blood-red cross, between which there were blood-red strips, becoming thicker to the rear, and in the front malleable like the rods of reed grass, which were intermingled among them 2 big rods, one on the right, the other to the left. And within the small and big rods there were 3, also 4 and more globes. These all started to fight among themselves, so that the globes, which were first in the sun, flew out to the one standing on both sides. Thereafter, the globes, standing outside the sun, in the small and large rods, flew into the sun. Besides the globes, flew back and forth among themselves, and fought vehemently with each other for over an hour. And when the conflict in and again out of the sun was most intense, they became fatigued to such an extent that they all, as said above, fell from the sun down upon the earth, as if they all burned, and they then wasted away on the earth with immense smoke. After all this, there was something like a black spear, very long and thick-sided. The shaft pointed to the east, the point pointed west. Whatever such signs mean, God alone knows. Although we have seen shortly one after another many kinds of signs on the heaven, which are sent to us by the Almighty God to bring us to repentance, we still are, unfortunately, so ungrateful that we despise such high signs and miracles of God. Or we speak of them with ridicule and discard them to the wind, in order that God may send us a frightening punishment on account of our ungratefulness. After all, the God-fearing will by no means discard these signs, but will take it to heart as a warning of their merciful Father in heaven. Will mend their lives and faithfully beg God that He may avert His wrath, including the well-deserved punishment on us, so that we may temporarily here and perpetually there live as His children. For it may God grant us His help. Amen. By Hans Glaser, letter painter of Nuremberg. Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Paul Ilan, host of the Truth Defender podcast. I really appreciate you guys stopping in for another episode of High Strangeness. I found this one extremely interesting because of the fact that it was dated so far back. It's crazy to think, what was it, 1561? Yeah. I find this definitely odd. A lot of the explanations that I had seen was that they didn't know what they were looking at, that maybe there was glare off of ice caps or something in the sky, which is typical scientific explanation, trying to explain it away. I mean, it could be, right? But it's just interesting, especially for it being so far back. You know, people during that time might not have known what they were looking at. And I'm fairly sure, especially if it was something that was extremely high tech, coming from another planet, another universe. If they were seeing flying objects, fighting with each other, shooting lasers at each other, things like that. I mean, they would have nothing to reference it against, so they wouldn't know what to call it, what it was. They just kind of drew it out as best as they could. And the interesting part is that they fell to Earth smoking. They could have been saucers, you know, they were circles and like weird discs and giant crosses and stuff. It could have been, you know, kind of alien tech crashing down to Earth. They were on fire, you know, they had been shot down. Or it could have been maybe angels, from what, you know, they were kind of explaining as well. I mean, who knows? That's definitely that religious aspect comes into play as well. But like I said, they wouldn't really know how to explain it at that time. So it's definitely interesting. If you guys have any other information about it, I'd really love to hear about it. I find it extremely interesting. I've been trying to dig a little bit deeper, and if I find anything else that we didn't cover here, I'll definitely put another video together for you guys, trying to explain it a little deeper. I'll definitely try to find somebody who knows a lot more about this as well. Maybe we can make that into a future episode as well for the podcast. Speaking of the podcast, I really appreciate you guys hanging in there as well. I know we haven't been kind of putting out episodes as well, and I say this all the time as well whenever there's a lull. But you know, it just kind of comes down to finding guests as well. A lot of people have like agreed to the podcast, you know, to come on as well, but you know, they're like extremely busy and they have a lot of things going on at the time that we reach out. So we have to, like, by the time we've really nailed down a date, then they might have to reschedule, which has been happening quite a bit lately. So a lot of the episodes that should have been taking place over the past 2-3 weeks have been rescheduled to like the early part of May. So it's a whole thing. It's a whole process. So yeah, we definitely have some episodes coming up. You know, there's for sure about 4 of them that I have nailed down for sure. So those will be some good ones as well. If you guys have any questions or you have any recommendations for topics or like any guests, maybe you want to come on the show, maybe you have a story as well that we can use for High Strangeness, something that happened to you, maybe you have an experience with UFOs or ghosts, demons, angels, anything. If you are willing to come on the show as well, we can do that. If not, you can just go ahead and send me like a letter explaining all the details, or we can jump on a Zoom call or a Skype call and you can relay your story to me, and then we can throw it into an episode, and then we can do it from there. So it's whatever you guys want to do. Reach out to me by email, thetruthDefender1776@gmail.com. You can get that set up, or you can reach out to us on Facebook, The Truth Defender Podcast, Twitter's @Defender Podcast, Instagram, The Truth Defender Podcast. We have a MeWe as well that we have set up, Discord, like I mentioned, Twitter and all that. We have a Rumble as well. So I'm trying to expand, trying to get off like the main social media stuff that everybody's on, and try to grow somewhere else. So that's definitely going on. So yeah, just kind of bear with us. We're trying to get everything set up. It's hectic, you know, work, school, trying to balance out the family life as well as putting shows together and getting content, tracking down guests. You know, it's a one-man operation. I track down the guests, book them, interview them, edit shows, do social media, put the shows out, and all that good stuff. So it takes a little bit, but as we get up and running, hopefully we start getting more of a little following. It'll be a lot easier. So, you know, we'll be able to focus on that more. School's almost done, like 2 months or so that'll free up a lot of time. But yeah, if you guys are listening to the podcast and you aren't already a subscriber, please consider subscribing, hitting that like button as well, and hitting that bell icon. So that way when we throw out an episode, you guys don't miss it. It'll send you an alert saying that we have a new episode out, and you'll be able to click on it good to go. So yeah, we'll definitely be getting all that content out here soon. Stay tuned for a lot more here in the next week or so, because we're going to start picking up and rolling, and we'll have a lot of good content for you guys. So I really appreciate you guys stopping in again, taking a look at this episode. It's definitely pretty crazy. And we'll catch you guys in the next one. So as always, you guys stay safe out there, stay blessed, stay frosty.